From the heart of Wayne County, this is Wayne Goldsboro Television, Goldsboro, North Carolina. Today is March 10th. We're in double digits now, a third of the month already. Can you believe that? 2016, and this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. And I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kate Daniels.
See, I keep up with numbers. Yeah, I mean, you know, yesterday was like 9, and today's like another number. Yeah, 10, and tomorrow will be another one. I can't wait. Duh. Ooh, here we go. All right, on a serious note now, if you have a dog or a cat living with you on purpose, then that dog or cat has to be vaccinated for rabies. And rabies vaccination clinics will be sponsored by the County of Wayne on April 23rd and April 30th. Those are both Saturdays, and they're a week apart, April 23rd and April 30th. If the owner, that is every dog and cat over 4 months of age must have the animal, must be vaccinated against rabies if they're over 4 months of age. Any animal receiving its first rabies vaccine shall receive another dose 1 year later, and then after that, every 3 years thereafter. Proof of prior rabies vaccination is required to receive a 30-year vaccination. If proof is not provided, a 1-year vaccination must be administered. Now, on Saturday, April 23rd in the mornings at Eastern Wayne High School, that's from 8 until 11. On Saturday, April 23rd in the afternoons at Southern Wayne High School, 1 until 3. On Saturday, April 30th, at Grantham School, 8 to 11, and then in the afternoon, the old Pikeville School building on April 30th from 1 until 4 p.m. And there you go.
There you go, very good. And the cost is $10 per animal.
That's right, I didn't mention that. $10 per animal. And that covers the cost of the vaccination.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Cheap. All right.
And mighty important.
Very important. Okay. What do you have anything?
I do have something.
What have you there?
You know, the community found out this past week about a big announcement for Goldsboro, Wayne County. And so if you haven't heard, we'll share it with you now, that Goldsboro, Wayne County was named one of the great American defense communities.
Yes.
Now this recognition came through the ADC, which is the American Defense Communities, and they announced 10 communities. So congratulations, your community was one of the 10.
In the country?
In the nation.
Yes, the entire
country. In the entire country. And the wonderful thing to point out too is it was the only community in North Carolina and in South Carolina.
Yeah.
And folks, that is mighty awesome.
It is awesome because we have so many military bases in North and South Carolina.
We do. And the Governor McCrory has spoken many, many times about how North Carolina is the most military-friendly state. And they were looking for communities to see, you know, how they collaborate together between county, city, schools, what initiatives, what is the community doing to support military families. And Goldsboro and Wayne County certainly set a good example.
Yes, indeed.
And with that, you know, there's so many opportunities that we can better improve and be better and communicate better. But it is quite incredible when you look at what's happened in our community for years. I mean, there's a long-standing, strong history of collaboration and, you know, the men and women who are serving our country, that are living in our communities, that are attending our schools, they're in our churches. These families are, I think last year, 2015, there was 57,000 hours recorded of military men and women who were volunteering in our community.
57,000.
So not only are they defending this nation, but we're blessed to have such a diverse community because of so many experiences from across the world and many families that come here. They may go to other bases, but we see so many that come back because they want to make Wayne County their permanent home. So
they do, and that's so true. In fact, I
Yes.
was talking with someone the other day who was getting ready to retire, and I asked him, "Are you going back to the state from where you came?" And he said, "No, we're probably going to settle here because it's just a nice community." And we are very military friendly.
Right.
Yeah, we love Seymour Johnson and other branches of the military here as well, because not only do Air Force people retire here, but so do other branches of the
That's
military.
right. We have such a rich, diverse history of leadership and servanthood. And, you know, one of the things that this recognition, so again, it was the great American defense communities. They were not just looking at Air Force communities. It was all branches of military. And don't quote me on this. I think there's like 174 across the nation.
I'm going to quote you on that.
And you're one of 10, my friend.
One of 10? That's amazing.
Yeah. So thank you to the men and women who serve and everyone in our community who is great partners.
Makes you proud.
Yes.
Very proud. Before we go to our interview, here's our trivia question for today. The trivia question for today category is guns and such. Mostly and such, not necessarily so much of guns.
Okay.
But, and this is something that's almost common knowledge, but you might have to stop and think about this. In what country was gunpowder invented? Gunpowder. Without gunpowder, there is nothing that explodes or anything. Well, except C4. That's something else, though. Anyway, in what country was gunpowder invented? All right, that's our question. Let's go to our interview, and we'll be back.
At this time, I'd like to have Jeff Holtz, our 2014 recipient of our Emil Rosenthal Volunteer of the Year presentation, to come and introduce our selection this year. Let's give Jeff a round of applause.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I just want to say United Way has been one of the real joys of my life, and working with folks. I see a lot of my old friends out there that we've worked for many years in United Way, and then it's great to see the new faces coming along, and it's just something that will always give you more joy in your life than you feel like you're actually giving. So congratulations to each of you. Let's give you all a round of applause right now. Each year we present our annual Volunteer of the Year award. The title Volunteer of the Year sounds very prestigious, and that's because it is. The United Way of Wayne County is a volunteer-based organization. All of our accomplishments are a direct result of our fantastic team of volunteers and their individual commitment to United Way in Wayne County. Every success of the United Way of Wayne County is really a success for those who volunteer with us. Our award is named for Emil Rosenthal, a community leader who, along with his wife Miriam, were dedicated volunteers to United Way in Wayne County. This award winner represents the epitome of a United Way volunteer, which is to have a strong commitment to service, concern for the welfare of those in our community, ability to motivate others, act as a leader, and most of all does all of these things without bias or favoritism. Their legacy lives on today through their Rosenthal Endowment, which provides an annual contribution to our community campaign. It is a great honor for me to be able to introduce our 2015 recipient of the Emil Rosenthal Award. This year's recipient has devoted his life to education. He is originally from the North, but has been in the Midwest and South for quite some time now. Before becoming president of Mount Olive College, now known as the University of Mount Olive, he received his Bachelor of Arts in Religion degree from Bucknell University, his Master of Education in College Counseling degree from the University of Delaware, and his Doctor of Philosophy and Special Education Administration degree from Gallaudet College in Washington, D.C. Regardless of where he's lived, he's immersed himself into his community. Prior to coming to Wayne County and joining the United Way Board, he was a member of the board of Salina Area United Way and served as the chair of the 2006 Salina Area United Way annual campaign. He was also a member of the Salina Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. He was also a member of the boards of the Associated Colleges of Central Kansas, the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, and the list continues. Since coming to North Carolina, he's become active in numerous organizations, United Way being one of them. He has recently been appointed to the NCAA Division II President's Council for a 4-year term. His list of accomplishments, both professionally and in the community, are long and impressive. His greatest treasure is his family. He and his wife, Mary, have 2 children and 5 grandchildren. He enjoys spending time with them immensely. His wife, Mary, said it best. Phil has always put families and children first in his philanthropic endeavors. He has a long history with United Way, and his passion for its mission derives from his belief that putting talents and treasures to work locally is the best way to serve his community. His humility and devotion to community work has been an inspiration to his family, as well as to thousands of college students throughout his career. I can think of no one more deserving of this award, and so it is with great honor I present Dr. Philip Kurtstetter the 2015 Emil Rosenthal Award. Come up, Phil. Our own Dr. Phil.
Jeff, thank you so much. Well, thank you all so much. I'm honored and humbled by this, and now I understand why my wife was on my case to get a haircut last week on this one. But, you know, I've spent more than 4 decades working with United Way, from my first experience in D.C. as giving to it, in D.C. also becoming a committee member, and then in Pennsylvania and out in Kansas becoming a board member, and now being a board member here and the incoming chairman of the board. I can't think of another organization that has this much impact on the community. And the exciting thing is when we're all working together, we can do such incredible things. Working together, we truly are the good. Thank you so much.
Today we're at the Wayne County Public Library talking with Director Donna Phillips. And Donna, this is Poetry Month, I believe.
It is. April is National Poetry Month.
And as a result of that, you have asked several people to come in and read their favorite poem.
That's right. This year, Wayne County Reads' theme is poetry. We're calling Wayne County Reads project this year Passionate for Poetry. Oh, and so what better way than to invite the community to come out the whole month of April and to share a poem that they're passionate about.
Wonderful. Let's get an example right now. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Bonnie Kornegay. I'm going to be reading a poem entitled Somebody's Mother by Mary Dow Bryan. The woman was old and ragged and gray, and bent with the chill of the winter's day. The street was wet with the recent snow, and the woman's feet were aged and slow. She stood at the crossing and waited long, alone, uncared for, amid the throng of human beings who passed her by, nor heeded the glance of her anxious eye. Down the street with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out, came the boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow piled white and deep. Past the woman, so old and gray, hastened the children on their way, nor offered a helping hand to her, so meek, so timid, afraid to stir, lest the carriage wheels or the horses' feet should crowd her down in the slippery street. At last came one of the merry troop, the gayest lad of all the group. He paused beside her and whispered low, "I'll help you cross if you wish to go." Her aged hand on his strong young arm
she placed, and so, without hurt or harm, he guided the trembling feet along, proud that his own were firm and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. She's somebody's mother, boys, you know, for all she's aged and poor and slow. And I hope some fellow will lend a hand to help my mother, you understand, if ever she's poor and old and gray, and her own dear boy is far away. Somebody's mother bowed low her head in her home that night, and the prayer she said was, God, be kind to the noble boy who was somebody's son and pride and joy. I'm Bonnie Kornegay, and I was reading a poem, Somebody's Mother, by Mary Bryan.
I'm Dave Meador. I'm a retired forester, and I want to tell you about Mr. Robert Service and a fellow named Sam McGee. Robert William Service lived from 1874 to 1958. He was a British Canadian poet who often has been called the Bard of the Yukon. He is best known for his poems, The Shooting of Dan McGrew and The Cremation of Sam McGee, from his book Songs of a Sourdough, also published as The Spell of the Yukon and Other Verses. His vivid descriptions of the Yukon and its people made it seem that he was a veteran of the Klondike Gold Rush instead of the late arriving bank clerk that he actually was. These humorous tales in verse were considered doggerel by the literary set, and yet remain extremely popular to this day. Robert Service wrote the most commercially successful poetry of the 20th century. He himself did not call his work poetry. Verse, not poetry, is what I was after. Something the man in the street could take notice of. And yet I never wrote to please anyone but myself. It just happened. I belong to the simple folks whom I like to please. The Cremation of Sam McGee by Robert Service. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge that I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the South to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On Christmas Day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. And talk of your cold, through the parka's fold it stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes would close, then the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed, and the stars o'erhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me and, Cap, says he, I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request. Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. And then he says with a sort of moan, it's the cursed cold, and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet 'tain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains. A pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail. And we started on at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee, and before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, you may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains. Now, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart how I cursed that load. In the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies, round in a ring, howled out their woes to the homeless snows, oh God, I loathed that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow, and on I went, though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. Then here, said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. And some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. And it was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about ere I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked. Then the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar, and he wore a smile you could see a mile, and he said, please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and the storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time that I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold, and Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge, and I cremated Sam McGee.
I'm Mary Bartlett, and I'm reading a poem by Maya Angelou called Alone. Lying, thinking, last night, how to find my soul a home, where water is not thirsty and bread loaf is not stone. I came up with one thing, and I don't believe I'm wrong, that nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. There are some millionaires with money, they can't use it. Their wives run around like banishes, their children sing the blues. They've got expensive doctors to cure their hearts of stone. But nobody, no, nobody can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody, but nobody can make it out here alone. Now, if you listen closely, I'll tell you what I know. Storm clouds are gathering, the wind is gonna blow. The race of man is suffering, and I can hear the moan. 'Cause nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone.
We're back on Wayne Goldsboro Television. Thank you for being there.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for being where you are as well. Thank you. Yes.
All right.
Okay. AARP tax volunteers will be at the Veterans Building at 2001D East Ash Street. That's the former Nash Printing Company.
Yes.
AARP tax volunteers will be there helping you with your taxes if you're a senior. They'll be in Goldsboro Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 until 2, beginning, or going on now, in fact. They started back in February, but they're going on right now, every Tuesday and Thursday. Taxes will be done by appointment only. You'll need to bring your tax documents, your W-2s, your 1099s, etc. Bring proof of donations, vehicle taxes, home taxes, mortgage interest, and out-of-pocket medical expenses. Each taxpayer must bring their Social Security card. No copies will be accepted, but you must have the original card for all persons claimed on the return and a photo ID of those persons. Military ID cannot be used to verify Social Security. To schedule an appointment, call Angela, and Angela is at 731-1586, 731-1586. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right. All right.
What you got?
March 29th, the Friends of the Library Preview Night Book Sale. It will be Tuesday night, March 29th from 5 to 8.
Okay.
So they've got a lot of great events coming up, and on the 30th from 9 to 5. The 31st, you can go from 12 to 6. April 1st, 12 to 5. And April 2nd, 9 to 5. And you'll be able to find some more information online through the Friends of the Library.
Friends of the Library, all right.
Fantastic.
And I believe that on the 29th is for the Friends only, but then it's opened up to the public on the 30th.
Okay,
that's it.
There you go. There you go.
And I'll tell you what, and some of these books are brand new. Some of them are brand new, and some of them aren't, of course. But if you're a reader, if you're a book person, and I think I am, rather than, because I don't like reading books on the internet. I
can't do that.
I'm not a Kindle person.
I want to hold a newspaper. I want to hold a book.
Yes, yes. Anyway, they're amazing quality and quantity of books. Dance for Christ is coming to the Paramount Theater on March 11th. No, that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. They're starting tomorrow.
That's right. Tickets are on sale right now at the Paramount Theater box office. That's GoldsboroParamount.com or at the theater box office, or you can call 919-583-8432. There you go.
And if you've not had an opportunity to see this production, I'm not sure how many years it's been running, but Patricia O'Quinn Warren is the mind behind this and bringing this to our community, and it is a ministry like nothing you've ever seen. It's quite amazing. So if you've got an opportunity, they're running through the 20th of this month to come and see the talent, and I certainly feel like it'll touch your soul in a pretty awesome way.
Oh yes.
In a pretty awesome way. And just one last plug: this Saturday, the 12th, is the annual Friends of Seymour Johnson AFB Gala. You can still get raffle tickets online. So we've got 7 big time valued baskets. You can purchase tickets for $10 a piece, and you can choose what raffle you want it to go towards, and we'll be drawing that at the banquet. But if you can't be there that night for the dinner, don't worry about it. We will have your contact information, and we can get it to you.
Oh, wow.
So good luck, and visit us online.
So you're going to make it easy for them.
Make it easy. Easy.
All right. The trivia question for today: in what country was gunpowder invented? And the answer to that question is China. And this was a long time ago. If you think about it, though, China invented, of course, fireworks, rockets, that sort of thing. So it only stands to reason gunpowder is right there. Pardon me. My gunpowder coming up. Anyway.
That's right, so it makes sense. So make sure to tune in. This show will repeat again at noon each day. It starts at 7 a.m., repeats at noon, and then again at 5:30. And we do hope that you'll join us tomorrow. We got one more day left in this week.
That's right. So until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kate Daniels.
And this is Wayne Goldsboro Television.